Nice to meet you, John. Thank you so much for inviting me, you guys. Thanks for this opportunity. And I must thank Dilip Aminji for introducing me to all of you. Looks like a great group. Thank you, Reverend Denny. A lot of what you said resonated very deeply with me. It's beautiful. We all use different terminology, but we meet somewhere on common ground. I would like to present this from two perspectives. One is the spiritual perspective, which is to answer your question, is there a record of a newly created world? The end of the world for a Hindu would be moksha, meaning to shed this illusory world. So as you said, we have been separated from the divine consciousness that we already are. And to finally be free of this bondage of body and mind and to merge ultimately with the ultimate reality into immortality. So the end of the world would be moksha, which is freedom. Hinduism, which is more accurately termed as Sanatana Dharma, meaning the eternal principle of stability, is based on the knowledge of the ultimate spiritual reality that is formless, luminous, all-knowing, loving, blissful, infinite, eternal, unbound, and unchanging. Hindus call it the Brahman, Paramatma, the self-consciousness, which is never born and does not die. This ultimate reality manifests as energy through infinite physical forms that we call our world. And Hindus look upon this world as an illusion since it is transient and in a constant cycle of rebirth. So a Hindu would work towards being liberated from this reality. And this verse from, I have this, the word Sanatana Dharma is the eternal cycle of life is why I have this slide. The next slide would be this, which when you hear my verse, you might be able to understand why I have these balloons. They represent individual souls. The verse from the Isha Upanishad explains this perfectly. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, which really means that spiritual world which is complete with divine consciousness, and this physical world is also complete with divine consciousness. From that complete divine consciousness manifests this complete divine consciousness. Therefore, taking Purna, or the complete divine consciousness, out of the complete divine consciousness leaves only the complete divine consciousness. If that makes sense, this piece really represents what it is for a Hindu to be devoid of the world. Now, Om, may there be peace in all three realms. The physical perspective, if one is identified with this body, would refer to the world according to the Hindu wisdom. This is all energy in its infinite forms, gross and subtle. Therefore, energy cannot be destroyed, and this physical world remains in a constant cycle of rebirth. So the world goes through various time cycles called yugas, during which our spiritual consciousness among all beings ebbs and tides. I will show you some symbols of that continuity later, but when this consciousness is on the decline, divine forces rise in the form of teachers and guides to reset the equilibrium with wisdom, as Reverend Mark Denny said, wisdom, knowledge, teaching. That is what will help us understand and see our oneness. And there we have a verse from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 7-8, which says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham, which means whenever virtue subsides and wickedness prevails, I manifest myself to re-establish dharma, which is stability, and virtue to destroy all evil, which really is ignorance, To save the good, I come from yuga to yuga, which is from time cycles to time cycles. So as far as if there has been recorded a period which was a wonderful period for the world, in the annals of Hindu history, there was a period known as Ram Rajya, or the golden rule of Lord Rama's kingdom, which was known for ideal and just governance and a peaceful society. It is possible to achieve Ram Rajya if we learn to see our oneness and true compassion. And this phrase, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, from the Maha Upanishad, is what really Hindus believe in, that the world is the family. We're all connected, including all creatures. That is my answer to the first. Let me just explain what that Vasudhaiva Kutumba means. This is mine. That is his, say the small-minded people. The wise believe that the entire world is mine, my family. Thank you. Gurjan, thank you so much. So the second question, would all people be able to live in the newly created world? As I mentioned earlier, the world, as according to Hindus, is heaven in itself, because all forms are divinity. And this is all encompassed in the word namaste. When we say namaste, it means two things. I bow to my own divine reflection in you. And secondly, it also means I am not this body. This I'm nama, namate. So I'm not, this is not me. Which really means that we negate the body and we see that there is no separation between you and me. We are one soul. We are the eternal, infinite soul. So in that, by that sense, we are all a part of this newly created world, or what is this world, what this world is. But since you talk about how we would be able to create a better world, would be to see the oneness amongst us. And and this includes all creatures, right, from micro to macro. We already see a lot of growing consciousness, especially during this Corona period. We saw people, the consciousness has risen to help each other, to be there for one another. There's a lot of awareness now. We have a chant from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavet, om shanti shanti shanti, which means, may all beings be at peace. May all beings be free from disease. May all beings see only good. And may none experience sorrow. May there be peace in all three worlds, which is the spiritual, physical, and the mental. So really, according to Hindu philosophy, there is no other better world. This is the better world. It's when we shed our ignorance that we will realize our own divinity. And there'll be more love and compassion. That's my brief answer.
Thank you, Ms. Mona. Thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause for that. Thank you.